I don't know. Nobody ever gets right for that. My first time too, I'm excited. This exciting. First poem I'm going to do, it's entitled Pretty Girl. It's pretty old. I wrote it in my early 20s when I was at this bar at Long Beach. Can I raise this? And I was kind of watching this group of kids and how they communicated with each other, and it's taken on a new meaning now. Since I've written this poem, I've gained a lovely wife and 3 daughters. And I worry that one of them's turning 12 and she's getting older, and I worry that she's going to become this girl. So I dug this up and I read it, and it meant a lot to me. She's a pretty girl. She checks herself in the mirror, runs her hand through her long blonde hair, opens her eyes wide and removes a clump of mascara on her eyelashes. She's a pretty girl. She exits the bathroom and enters the sound of laughing voices, rock music, and casual conversation. Takes a seat at a booth occupied by those she came with, wraps her arms around the bicep of a young man drinking beer and places her head against his shoulder. She's a pretty girl. She scans the dark room with her blue eyes, the sound of pool balls breaking on a pool table, rock music from a jukebox, drunken laughter. The sight of empty long neck bottles scattered across the table, cigarette smoke, dim lighting. She's a pretty girl. She lights a cigarette and takes a drag. Places her wrist over an ashtray on the table. The cigarette dangles above its shallow glass bowl. Squints her eyes and focuses on another young man at the table telling a joke. She's a pretty girl. She throws her head back and laughs, although she doesn't think the joke is funny. Catches her breath and takes another drag from her cigarette before smashing its burning end into the ashtray. Removes her arm from the young man's bicep, kisses him on the cheek, and excuses herself. She's a pretty girl. She checks herself in the mirror. Runs her hand through her long blonde hair, grips the porcelain sink on each of its sides with her hands, and takes a deep, unsatisfying breath. She's a pretty girl. This is a poem I wrote about this one time I got drunk and left the front door open and the cat got out. It's called The Night Lizzie Ran Away. Her mother was a rare and expensive African house cat, given to a spoiled girl that overfed her and kept her fat. Her father was most likely a stray that lived in a gravel pit at the edge of the town where all the neighborhood kids played. My daughter named her after a character from the works of Jane Austen. We named her Lizzie for short, which sounded just awesome. It was Elizabeth Bennet with her pride and her prejudice that resembled our new cat. Her first night in our home, the foot of my bed is where she slept at. Her black fur runs like mascara under her mischievous green eyes as she sits on the windowsill swatting at flies. She spends hours a day using her braille tongue to lick her black paws, or she attacks my socked feet with her sharp teeth and long claws. It didn't take long before the whole family had fallen in love. However, Lizzie spent hours staring out the window. Escape was all she could think of. Lizzie had become a special part of our happy home. I worried that if I let her out, she would never return. I'd feel so heartbroken and alone. Then late one night, she finally had her chance as I lay in bed asleep and worn out from drink and dance. In my drunken stupor, I had forgotten to close the front door. When I woke in the morning, I knew she was gone for sure. As night came, the skies began to shower. I spent my time in the rain in the backyard, searching for over an hour. It was getting late, and Lizzie had failed to return. I began to grow anxious, and my heart began to yearn. Lying in my bed, I began to cry. Why did I have to get drunk? Why? Early in the morning, I fell asleep, although I felt so alone, heartbroken for my lovely Lizzie, who would never come home. In the morning, I was awakened by the neighbor's rooster's crow. I saw movement beyond my bed's comforter as a great cat tail did show. My chest felt light as I accepted that I would once again see my cat. At the foot of my bed is where my Lizzie slept at. I got one more. It's a haiku. It's entitled My Haiku. This is my haiku. It has enough syllables. It is over now.